Good morning, my dear student. Welcome once again. And here we are going to start our next important topic, that is ionization enthalpy. Okay, ionization enthalpy, children. First, you should know that what is ionization enthalpy? The amount of energy which is required to remove electron from an isolated gaseous atom. This is known as ionization enthalpy. Okay, the amount of energy which is required to remove an electron from an isolated gaseous atom. So children, what here we will observing that when we will move from left to right in 3D series, okay, what will happen as we will move from left to right, there is an increase in nuclear charge, and as there will be an increase in nuclear charge means the electron will be held very tightly with this nucleus charge. As a result of that, ionization enthalpy increases. In all the series, children, in each series of transition elements, when we will move from left to right, ionization enthalpy increases because of increase in nuclear charge. But children, when we will observe its experimental values, we will observe that the increase in ionization enthalpy is taking place slowly. Quite slowly, there is increase in ionization enthalpy. In the data table 8.2 it is given. The increase in ionization enthalpy, you can see 631, 650, 653, 717, okay, then 762. This increase in ionization enthalpy is taking place quite slowly. Why? Because children, already we have discussed that when this electron enter in d orbitals, the electron present in d orbitals show shielding effect. As a result of that, the valence electron will experience less attraction from nucleus charge effect. Means nuclear charge increases from left to right, but opposing factor is also there, that is shielding effect. As a result of that, nuclear charge increases from left to right, but the increase in ionization enthalpy is quite slowly. The increase in ionization enthalpy, here we will observe that it takes place quite slowly because nuclear charge increases, but one opposing factor is also there, that is called shielding effect. That's why, because of this shielding effect, the increase in ionization enthalpy is there, but it increases quite slowly. Okay, because no doubt there is an increase in nuclear charge, but this nuclear charge is opposed by this shielding effect. Somehow the ionization enthalpy, when we will observe, it increases from left to right, but this increase in ionization enthalpy is quite slow because nuclear charge increases from left to right, but shielding effect is opposing this nuclear charge. As a result of that, the increase in ionization enthalpy is quite slow. Now, and here you can see, although first ionization enthalpy in general increases, that we have seen, the first ionization enthalpy increases, but the magnitude of increase in second and third ionization enthalpy, okay, means when first electron will get removed, it will be first ionization enthalpy, then second, then third, successively it will be called second and third ionization enthalpy. So children, when here we will observe that although the first ionization enthalpy in general increases, the magnitude of increase in second and third ionization enthalpy for successive element in general is much higher. Means second ionization enthalpy, third ionization enthalpy, it will be much higher as compared to first one, because the electron will come closer to nucleus, and in order to remove that electron, large amount of energy will be required. Now here you can see, children, I will show you some ionization enthalpy of few metals. Okay, here when I will talk about ionization enthalpy, first ionization enthalpy of chromium. The first ionization enthalpy of chromium will be lower as compared to, no need to compare, first we will see the first ionization enthalpy of chromium will be lower as compared to second one. The second ionization enthalpy will be higher. What will be the reason, children? Because chromium, you all are knowing chromium atomic number 24, and it have electronic configuration, exceptionally it have 3d5 and 4s1. So first ionization enthalpy will be lower because electron will remove from s orbital, and after losing one electron it will get half filled stable one. So first ionization enthalpy of chromium will be lower, but its second ionization enthalpy will be high because it will disrupt its stability, because the second electron is going to remove from d5 orbital. Okay, in same case when I will talk about zinc, first ionization enthalpy will be very high because the electron will get removed from filled 4s orbital along with 3d10. So first ionization enthalpy of zinc will be very high because electron is getting removed from 4s2. 3d10 and 4s2 is the configuration. Okay, for zinc atomic number 30 it will be last two configuration I am telling you, it will be 3d10 and 4s2. So first first ionization enthalpy of zinc will be high because electron are getting removed from filled 4s2 orbital, while the second ionization enthalpy of zinc will be low. Okay, because after losing it will be 4s1. Second ionization enthalpy means it will be 3d10 and 4s1. Okay, and second ionization enthalpy will be low because after losing electron from 4s orbital it will get stable 3d configuration. So first ionization enthalpy of zinc will be high and second ionization enthalpy will be low. If I will talk about copper, so copper first ionization enthalpy will be low because after copper having atomic number 29 and last two configuration is 3d10 and 4s1. So one after removal of one electron it will be 3d10, but its second ionization enthalpy will be very high for copper. Why? Because the second electron will get removed from 3d10, so it will destroy the stability. So second ionization enthalpy of copper will be high. Its first ionization enthalpy will be low, but second ionization enthalpy will be very high. Okay, then if I will talk about manganese 2 plus and Zn2 plus. Okay, here also it is given Mn2 plus and Zn2 plus. It is very difficult, children, to remove the third ionization enthalpy of Mn2 plus and zinc. Mn2 plus, here it is given somewhere, the second, wait, here you can see this line, the second okay, see children, here when we will see the third ionization enthalpy, the trend in third ionization enthalpy is not complicated by the 4s orbital factor, shows the greater difficulty of removing an electron from d5. Okay, after see Mn2 plus and Zn2 plus ions, what will happen here? So children, its third ionization enthalpy will be very high. Why? Because you know manganese, it is manganese in +2 state, means it will be, if I will see the normal structure electronic configuration, it will be 25 atomic number and it will be 3d5 and 4s2, and in case of zinc it will be 3d10 and 4s2. So third ionization enthalpy means the electron will get removed from d5 and d10, and you know d5 and d10 configuration are very stable, so there will be a great difficulty for removing the electron from d5 and d10. That's why third ionization enthalpy will be very high. But if I will talk about third ionization enthalpy of iron will be quite low, because you know iron having atomic number 26 and its last two configuration is 3d6 and 4s2. So after removing 3 electron, it will be 3d5 and 4s2. So it for iron the third ionization enthalpy will be low because after losing 3 electron it will enter to a stable 3d5 state. Okay, so this is all about the ionization enthalpy of transition elements. And children, And one more thing children, when we will see the third ionization enthalpy for copper, nickel and zinc, it is very high. The third ionization enthalpy of copper, nickel, zinc is very high. So it is very difficult to obtain oxidation state more than +2. Okay, because third ionization enthalpy for copper, nickel, zinc is very high. So it is not possible to obtain oxidation state greater than 2 for these elements. Okay, and now our next topic is oxidation state. Here children, this table is very important. One of the notable features of transition element is the great variety of oxidation state. Here you can see oxidation state of various transition metals. Okay, it shows that this first row, here it is mentioned first row transition metals. You can see is vanadium +3, titanium +2, +3, +4, vanadium +2, +3, +4, +5, chromium +2, +3, +4, +5, +6, manganese it is +2, +3, +4, +5, +6, +7, iron +2, +3, +4 and +6. For cobalt it is +2, +3, +4. For nickel it is +2, +3, +4. For copper it is +1, +2 and for zinc it is +2. Now children, the most common oxidation state, it is represented in bold type. Means for scandium only one oxidation state is there, +3. +2 is virtually unknown for scandium. For titanium it is +4. For vanadium it is +5. For chromium it is +3 and +6. For manganese it is +2 and +7. For iron it is +2, +3. For cobalt it is +2, +3. For nickel it will be +2. For copper it will be +2. For zinc it will be +2. Okay. So this oxidation state children, it is very important. And here you can see at the middle of, when we will come at the middle of the transition series, there is an increase in oxidation state. Okay, there is an increase in oxidation state. Maximum oxidation you can see for manganese it varies from +2 to +7. Okay, and you can see at the extreme two ends, for you can see for scandium and titanium, which is present on the left side, it is showing for scandium +3 and titanium +2. +3 is not very common, +4 is common. Okay, and in case of copper and zinc you can see copper +1, +2 and zinc +2. Means at the extreme two ends there is a very less oxidation state is there, +1, +2, and for scandium it is +3. For titanium it is +2, +3, +4. And in the middle of series there is a variation, and maximum oxidation state here you can see exhibited by manganese, which varies from +2 to +7. The element which gives the greatest number of oxidation state occurs in the middle of the series. For example, you can see manganese, which varies from +2 to +7. Okay, here you can see titanium, most stable oxidation state is +4, and this +4 is coming by adding the electron present in s orbital plus d orbital plus s orbital. Okay, here from first 5 you can see scandium is exceptional, or you can say scandium +3 oxidation state is there. How +3 will be stable? Because you know scandium 21 atomic number, and it will be last two configuration I am telling you, 3d1 and 4s2. So after removing one electron from d orbital and 2 electron from s orbital, after removing these 3 electrons, it will get stable and it will show +3 oxidation state. +4 means 2 electron has been removed from d orbital and 2 electron has been removed from s orbital. Vanadium also, this 5 you can see the last two electronic configuration. If I will talk about vanadium, it will be 3d3 and 4s2. So 3 plus 2, it will be 5. Means this stable oxidation state is coming by addition of electron present in s orbital and d orbital. Okay, here for chromium children, you know chromium 3d5 and 4s1. So 5 plus 1, it is 6. For manganese, children, it will be 3d5 and 4s2. So 5 plus 2, it will be 10. So here this value, this stable oxidation state is coming by addition of s orbital plus d orbital. While for the next 5, you can see that plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3, or you can say most prominently, you can say plus 2 orbital is more prominent. Plus 2 oxidation state, you can see, is more prominent in after manganese. See, for iron also it is plus 2, for cobalt also it is plus 2, for nickel also plus 2, copper also plus 2, and for zinc also plus 2. Okay, plus 2 electron means basically the electron is involved here from ns orbital. Okay, and whatever I have explained you here, it is given in this paragraph only. And here you can see this line. Zinc has no option because third ionization enthalpy of zinc is very high. So it will be in stable oxidation state of plus 2. No d electron are involved. Okay, this plus 2 means the electron has been removed from s orbital. Okay, the maximum oxidation state, you can see reasonable stability correspond to the sum of s orbital, s electron and d electron. Right now I told you that this 4, 5, 6, 7 value has been come from the addition of electron of sum of s and d electron. And you can see here, while from the next 5 element, you can see iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, they are showing plus 2 oxidation state. Okay, now you can see, children, you can see the variation. Here you can see the variation in oxidation state, whatever it is written here, I am explaining here. So here you can see there is a variation in oxidation state, and here there is an increase in oxidation state by unity. Here you can see plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, means the electron is progressively filled in d orbital. Okay, one electron has been added, and here progressively the electron is added in d orbital. Okay, one electron by unity it is getting increases. That's why we are able to observe plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6 oxidation state, because electron is progressively filled in n-1 d orbital. Okay, this oxidation state here, you can see it is increases by unity, it differs by unity. Okay, you can see here this oxidation state is differ by unity, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6. Okay, then last one here. Here we have seen that in case of in contrast, here you can see in case of non-transition metals, non-transition, suppose if I will talk about p block element, here you can see their oxidation state varies by 2. If I will talk about Sn tin, it varies from plus 2 Sn plus 2 Sn plus 4. Okay, for lead it will be plus 2 plus 4. Okay, so here you can see oxidation state varies by 2. Okay, by the unit of 2 in case of non-transition elements. Okay, and one more thing, that is here it is mentioned that one interesting features about the oxidation state of d block element is, children, what we have seen in p block, on coming from top to bottom, lower oxidation state is more favored. Okay, in case of lead, okay, plus 2 plus 4, plus 2 state will become more stable because of inert pair effect. Inert pair effect is reluctance of s electron to participate in bond formation. So in case of p block, lower oxidation state are favored by heavier members. It is due to inert pair effect. But children, opposite nature it has been observed in case of d block element. Here the heavy elements like molybdenum, tungsten, they are found to be more stable in higher oxidation state. Okay, so this tungsten and molybdenum, they are more stable in heavier oxidation state, that is 6. Okay, as compared to chromium, because you know chromium, molybdenum, tungsten, okay, they belongs to same group, and on coming top to bottom, this molybdenum, tungsten, they show more stable as compared to chromium. So here children, when we will talk about the block elements, what will happen here? I will read this line. Although in P block the lower oxidation state are favored by heavier members due to inert pair effect. Means P block, if I will give you the example of lead, +2 +4 oxidation state is there, +2 as well as +4. Which state will be more stable? +2, because of inert pair effect. But opposite is true in case of group of D block element. For example, if I will talk about group 6, that is molybdenum and tungsten, are found to be more stable in +6 oxidation state, okay, as compared to chromium. Okay, they are more stable in +6 oxidation state. This is the reason that this chromium +6 oxidation state in form of dichromate in acidic medium is a strong oxidizing agent, whereas this molybdenum trioxide and tungsten trioxide are not. Because this chromium is a strong oxidizing agent, means itself it will get reduced, means from +6 to +3, it will get converted from +6 to +3. It shows that chromium is a strong oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means itself it will get reduced, and reduction means decrease in oxidation number. From +6 to it will get converted into +3. Okay, means it is more stable in +3 oxidation state, while molybdenum and tungsten are more stable in its +6 oxidation state. Okay, this is just vice versa, as I will compare from P block elements. And next children, lower oxidation state, or you can say zero oxidation state also you can observe in case of ligand which is pi acceptor, which shows pi acceptor character. This all children we have seen in coordination compound. It is tetracarbonyl nickel pentacarbonyl iron. In these both, this nickel and iron is showing zero oxidation state. Okay. One question is there, name a transition element which does not exhibit variable oxidation state. So here the answer will be scandium, because it is showing only one oxidation state, that is +3. Okay, zinc is not there. No need to answer zinc children, because zinc is not a transition element. Okay, as we all have at the initiation of chapter only I told you that here you can answer name a transition element which does not exhibit variable oxidation state. So zinc will not be the answer, because zinc is not a transition element, because it is not fulfilling the definition of transition element. It is not satisfying the definition of transition element, that is it must have partially filled d orbital in its ground state or in any one of its oxidation state. So here the answer will be scandium. Okay, and next is trend in M2 plus to M. Okay, here reduction potential is there. So I think our next topic will be reduction potential. Later on we will see this topic. So today we have seen ionization enthalpy and oxidation state of all these elements, of transition elements. Okay, and one more thing children, when you will compare the data, the first ionization enthalpy of 3D transition series are higher to those of first and second transition series. Okay, the first ionization enthalpy of third transition series are higher than those of first and second transition series. What will be the answer? It is your homework. That again I am repeating the question. First ionization enthalpy of third transition series are higher to those of first and second transition series. And I am giving you one clue that it is related to shielding effect. Okay, so you have to answer this question. Okay, thank you.